Hello, you guys, and welcome to today's live coaching conversation. Today, we are going to be talking about exercise, intermittent fasting, and fat burning. I know it's always such a hot topic, especially for us women. So hopefully I will be able to give you some insight today about how to meld all of those three things together so that you can get the results that you're hoping for. If you're new, welcome. My name is Diane Parham. I am the creator of the online coursing community, the Intermittent Fasting for Today's Aging Woman. If you're joining us on YouTube and you haven't yet done so, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you're joining us on Facebook, there's a little follow button. If you hit that and set yourself up for notifications, you will know when we go live. Okay, so as always, you guys know I like to give you very practical, everyday information when it comes to your intermittent fasting, your exercise, and the goals that you are hoping for. And I shoot straight with you. So today, what I want to explain to you is why it is a lot of us feel frustrated when we're not getting that like fat disappearance that we're hoping for when we're fasting and we're exercising, and how to incorporate exercise with fasting so that you can get that. So this is a video we did, I think it was last Monday, where we talked about level 1, level 2, and level 3, right? And the level 1 is sort of the everyday person, kind of, happy with their hobby of exercising, and they're fasting for all the benefits that just fasting can do for you. Then there's the level 2 person who has like very specific goals. Maybe they want to run a 10K and they want to run it like in under an hour. Like that would be this level kind of person. Or maybe you want to hit a certain weight loss result and you are dialing things down a little tighter. And then we have the level 3 person who is more of like, I'm training for a half marathon. I want to do it in under 2 hours, or you have a certain percent of body fat you want to be at, like more specific goals that are going to require a more intense effort level. So what I want us to first think about today in our discussion is, what level are you at? Are you at a 1 or a 2 or a 3, right? So we want to make sure that our effort, our expectations, and our experience level all are matching up, so we're not disappointed. We don't want to like have these like dreamy goals, but only want to put in this kind of effort, because that's where we get frustrated, and that's where a lot of us end up quitting, and we don't want to do that. We want to get the results we're hoping for. So let's do a little, let me get this up here. Let's do a little review, right, of exercise and fat utilization. So we know back from the high intensity aerobic days, I don't know if you guys did that, but I used to be an aerobics instructor. Everything was aerobic, right? We wanted to be in that fat burning zone. We wanted to be in that aerobic type of environment where we're using oxygen, right? And then there's anaerobic, which is that HIIT style workout, or those short, intense bursts of exercise and then having a recovery period. That's without oxygen. Well, believe it or not, even aerobic type activities have an anaerobic portion to them, right? It's usually the beginning part. And that's where your body is dependent on glycogen stores. I call it getting it out of the gate, right? So you're more of like that sugar burner in the beginning of your exercise, because you're in like an oxygen debt. And so you need to have some of that available in your system so that you feel good when you start exercising. Where intermittent fasting and fat utilization and exercise is that beautiful trifecta, is that we can get into this place so easy, right? We can do it through walking. We can do it through low intensity running. We could do it through yoga. Like, all you have to do is monitor your heart rate, and you can get in a great fat burning zone with an aerobic type effort, right? But you have to create the environment within your body first, and you have to know what combination of this and this is going to get you into that fat burning mode, right? So fat needs oxygen to be utilized. If you're not monitoring what it is you're doing, you could be missing this opportunity for fat to be utilized, because you're just not providing the oxygen that it needs, right? Your body fat and your liver fat, so fatty liver, we know that with high triglycerides, those two things need oxygen to be able to be utilized. Remember, we utilize it, right, so that we can burn it off, essentially. So, how do we know if we're putting ourselves in a position to utilize the fat that we have in storage through intermittent fasting and our exercise? Well, we know with intermittent fasting, it provides us an opportunity to drop our insulin levels, right? Because we're not going to have a new insulin response. And we start utilizing the glycogen that we have in storage. And we get to the point where we drain the tanks and then we start turning to our fat stores for energy. Well, how do we know that's happening? Because there are so many things out there that are just estimations. If you really want to get serious about tapping into that storage of fat and reducing that glycogen back up, you have to do some monitoring to be able to really efficiently get into that fat utilization, especially if you're frustrated, right? So, a heart rate monitor is an excellent start, right? You want to make sure you're understanding what zone you are working in so that you can get your body chemically and hormonally in that place of utilizing oxygen at the right level so that you can tap into those fat stores. The best heart rate zone for fat utilization we know is that endurance level, that zone 2, very low zone 3, right? And again, heart rate monitoring, again, is somewhat of an assumption if you haven't gotten a VO2 max test, right? So you have to use the calculations, and then I just adjust according to how it is my perceived exertion is as well, right? How are you feeling when you're working out? Are you breathless? Can you talk while you're working out? All of those are signs of what level it is you're working out in, right? So low zone or zone 2, low zone 3 is a great endurance type of effort where you're requiring your body to have that oxygen, right? You're going to allow that opportunity to happen so that you can actually utilize that fat because fat needs the oxygen. If you're constantly working out in a zone that is going to take you out of that aerobic type of atmosphere, and it's very easy to do, right? Those zone 3s, those zone 4s. If you're not monitoring your heart rate and you're constantly in that high end of your exercise heart rate, you might be missing that opportunity that you're hoping for tapping into that fat for utilization for energy. So, heart rate monitoring is the first thing that you want to do. Also, knowing that if you're jumping into intermittent fasting and you're new at it, and you're also jumping into exercise, that might be too much of a demand on your body in the beginning. What I always recommend is get the insulin under control first, drain the tanks with intermittent fasting, and then when you get really, really confident and comfortable with your intermittent fasting, start slowly adding in some exercise. Again, low intensity is great. That could just be a really vigorous walk around your neighborhood. And you'll know that by using your heart rate monitor. An Apple Watch is fantastic. Getting a Garmin is great. Those are a little bit more expensive. A chest strap is fantastic. Doing it the old fashioned way where you're checking your heart rate on your wrist is also great as well. But you want to make sure that you know the numbers so that you're not disappointed. Again, if you have specific goals that you're setting and you're not tracking things, then you might just be missing the mark, and it's super, super easy to just get that tweaked. Okay, ketone tests are another great thing that you can do to see if you're actually in fat burning mode, right? We talk about fat burning all the time, but if your body's not producing ketones, even at a very low level, it does not have to be the extreme level of ketone production. Even low ketones is a great way to monitor if your body's actually utilizing fat, because the byproduct of fat utilization is having ketones present in your blood. Super simple test to do. The other thing that we want to start considering when we're really frustrated with not being able to utilize the body fat and see it go away from our body is, are we actually metabolically flexible, right? So are we able to tap in to those glycogen stores? Are we able to get them into our system? Can we utilize them to the point where we can actually start tapping into fat? Can we go from fat utilization back to glycogen stores? We want to make sure that we can do both. Constantly living in a sugar state, constantly living in a fat burning state, and not being able to switch back and forth between the two when you're taking in new food energy or you're creating a demand through exercise means that you're not very metabolically flexible. And that could also hinder your body's ability to tap into that fat utilization. So, all of this is very important. Some of the things too that can really make fat burning, right? So the seeing it go away on your body difficult are things like making get not getting the right kind of sleep, restless sleep, stress in your life, and then also not fueling up the night before your expectation for your exercise. So we want to make sure all of those things are in place as well, and that's where nutrition comes in, right? So what I like to do, I talk about this a lot on my Instagram page, is I load up meaning that I make sure that my feast the night before my exercise will support what it is I want to do with my workout in the morning so that I don't have to eat to fuel my exercise. So I want to be able to utilize my last meal for my exercise and then tap into the storage right after that. If you're carb loading and the carbohydrates that you're choosing to support your workout are not going to be able to be efficiently utilized during your last feast through the night and into your morning, then you're never going to get through them to the point where you can actually tap into fat either. So all of this is very important to consider when you're feeling lost or frustrated about intermittent fasting, your exercise, and why it is you're not seeing the results that you want to see with your fat burning, or you want to become more efficient at it. And then recovery is another one of those things that we want to consider when we're building in intermittent fasting with our exercise and our fat utilization. If your body is not recovering, it makes it more difficult for your body to be able to tap into those stores as well. Remember, we want to make sure that we're not draining one tank so deeply that another tank starts to get out of balance. So all of these things are super simple to incorporate into your life and will make a huge difference if you're feeling frustrated with what your body is not doing for you, despite the fact that you feel like you're doing all the things right. So we want to make sure that we're fasting the right amount of hours, right? It could be anywhere from 16 to 20 hours, even more if you are mature with your fasting. You want to make sure that you are monitoring your heart rate. A lot of people are actually working out too hard to get into that effective and efficient fat burning mode. I know I have taken down my workouts very, very significantly. And I'll share with you in just a second what my workout schedule is like so you guys can kind of play around with that as well. If you're feeling like you're not utilizing fat as efficiently as you should be, it is worth it to test to see if your body's actually capable of producing ketones, which are the byproduct of fat utilization. Again, you do not have to be in extreme states of ketosis. That is just not true. As long as you can produce ketones to the level where you can manage your glucose and ketone production efficiently, a very low level can get you into that fat burning mode, and the test will prove that. Metabolic flexibility is a thing to consider. Can you switch from sugar burning to fat burning efficiently so that you have the energy that you need and can tap into the fat stores to support what it is you want to do? Nutrition is also key. The night before you work out, that is the most important meal that you want to consider for the effort that you want to do the next day. And if you're not working out until the afternoon, take that into consideration as well. Oftentimes when people like bonk out with their fitness, it's because they don't have efficient energy in the form of glucose or ketones, right? So you're bottomed out on both energy levels. You do not have to have high glucose levels if you have ketones present. And so understanding that with your body will also be super beneficial to how it is you're going to feel in your workout. You should feel just as energized in your workout with fat burning mode or a fat utilization opportunity as you do when you're tapping into sugar stores as well. And then recovery. Recovery is essential for you showing up and getting the workout in and being able to tap into energy because you have the recovery covered also. Okay, so let me share with you how I fast and how I exercise and the benefits that I see from that. I work out very intensely on the weekends because I have the better opportunity to rest, and I have the time. So I call it my selfish time. I work out. Saturday is the day I race or I test my efforts from the week. So if you're looking to have an intense day, pick one day of the week to run at or run or exercise or whatever it is you're doing at a race pace or a race level. So test how it is you're performing. Then the next day, I do a lighter endurance workout, long period of time, low heart rate, right? So it doesn't take a lot from my body. I literally drain the tanks. So I give myself enough time in an exercise state to utilize the storage. Then on Monday, I have another low intensity exercise, and I do Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday in a clean fasted state. So I ride my bike, I do an endurance exercise, I keep my heart rate low, and I stay in that for a long period of time. So usually 60 minutes or more. Then what did I say? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday are the days that I do a more intense workout, right? So I get my heart rate out of zone 2, sometimes out of zone 3, and I do short bursts, and then I recover, and then I stay fasted for the rest of the day, because we also know that an anaerobic type of exercise has that nice afterburn effect. So I will be in fat utilization mode by the end of the day today. I just know that because I have done it so many times. And then again, Friday, I'll rest or I'll do a light recovery workout. And then I go back into my race day on Saturday. So you do not always have to like go super hard on your workouts, unless, of course, you're doing something at the elite level. And that is a requirement that you need to get to the next step. The fuel I use to energize what it is I'm doing in my fitness, I load up or have my carbohydrates on the night before I'm going to have one of those long endurance exercises, because I know I'm going to need that energy to tap into. Sweet potatoes are amazing. Rice is amazing. You want to make sure that the carbohydrates that you are putting in your body are in the most natural form possible. And then I also make sure I get efficient amounts of fat in my pre-workout meal as well. And that's always the night before. My body converts what I eat the night before from the carb consumption that I take in into fat by the morning, and then I'm ready to work out. I just pull whatever's remaining out of storage, and then I get right into fat burning mode. If you test this with this or this, right, then you know after a while you just rinse and repeat the same thing, and you're going to get the same benefits from it. You can tap into that fat burning if you consistently practice this over time, but you have to understand what your body is doing. Otherwise, you're just guessing, and most of the time you'll be disappointed. Sandra from the UK, all ears for this. Okay, Sandra, let me know if you have any questions. Raban, nice, awesome. Renee, good morning. Good morning, girlfriend. PJ, Beck, Bowden, I think it's Peggy. Good morning, great subject. Thank you. Yeah, okay. So let me know in the comments, are you monitoring your heart rate? Are you monitoring ketone production? Are you monitoring metabolic flexibility? You have to monitor something if you're not getting the results that you were hoping for. If what you're doing is yielding you the results that you're hoping for, then intuitively you have figured it out. For a lot of us, we don't have that intuition. I know I didn't have that intuition. I had to really test things until I figured out the combination of things that work for me. And then you have to make sure that you're refilling your body, right, with the energy that it needs for the next exercise bout that you want to have. I always recommend getting your fasting down first and then incorporating what it is that you want from your fitness. Tina, grad 2017 class. This chat is fantastic info. Thanks so much for the detailed review. Yeah, you're welcome. How do you monitor? How do you monitor what? One small flame. Monitor your heart rate. I wear a watch. I just see what the beautiful thing about monitors these days is they're so detailed, right? So my watch will vibrate on my wrist when I go from one zone to another. And so that's how I know to kind of look down and see what my heart rate is. There's a calculation you could do online. Just Google how do you get your maximum heart rate, and then you want to get into some training zones. I've done some videos on this as well. So the heart rate that you really want to work out for the maximum fat burning utilization is a zone 2, which is about 60 to 70, maybe 74% of your maximum heart rate. And then a zone 3 would you just kind of go up from there in about 10% 10% increments. Oh, metabolic flexibility. So I monitor my metabolic flexibility with a Lumen. It is something that you test your CO2 from your breath, and it tells you whether your body is utilizing carbohydrates or fats for energy. There's a link in my bio for the Lumen. It takes a little time to get used to that, but it's a really, really great device if you are wanting to see how your body is actually metabolizing the energy that you're putting in. So food is just an energy, and then what your body is doing when that energy is now being utilized. So it's a really great device. Again, like it's in my description box if you guys want to check it out, or you can send me a DM and I'll send you information on that as well. Okay, so don't get frustrated, right? Don't throw in the towel. Don't talk badly to yourself about these kind of things. Sometimes it takes like getting it on paper, right? And really evaluating what your body is doing and taking the guesswork out. The best thing you can do for yourself is start monitoring your heart rate, right? And make sure that you're not working out too hard too often. Bringing your heart rate down to that zone 2 is such a refreshing feeling. It will save a lot of wear and tear on your body and will actually get you the result that you're hoping for with fat utilization. If you're not sure if you're producing ketones, I always recommend testing a Keto Mojo. Again, the description box has all the things I'm talking about. A simple test can tell you. And then what you have to understand is that once you get it, like I say, just rinse and repeat and consistently over time, your body will start to adapt and it will start making the changes that you want it to make. So take the guesswork out, take the frustration out. This can actually be fun. This is so much fun. It's like a little hobby, right? When you really start looking for specific things that you are expecting of your body, it is the biggest gift you can give your body as well, knowing what happens when you make decisions and not just guessing or taking random advice from people who aren't doing what you're doing. Everybody is different. Everybody is going to respond differently as well. So I hope this shed some light for you. Exercise should be fun. Fasting should be fun. Monitoring should be fun. And then once you get that kind of concept where you're just going to treat it like a hobby, it can really be a fun thing to do. Do you recommend urine strips for ketones? I do not, because urine strips don't tell you what level of ketone production, and there's a certain level. We actually work with the GKI here in this community. It is just telling you what the how do I want to explain this? So when you test ketones with a urine strip, it's what your body is excreting, not what your body is using, right? And so blood testing is the best way, or even this using a Lumen would be even more efficient. So you're just basically testing the waste. You're not testing what your body's using. And so I recommend blood testing because it is just more effective. And the urine strips are not always consistent, right? They expire really quickly. And a lot of times they just give you false information. So I would definitely invest in a ketone and glucose monitor if you're really serious about monitoring it for, getting a certain result for sure. Okay, so that's it for today. I hope this helps you. I hope this gives you some encouragement. I hope this makes exercise, fasting, and fat burning fun. It is the coolest thing when you start to actually see it happen and you start to see that body fat that is frustrating for you start to whittle away. It is the best feeling in the world and will make everything that you're doing so much more fun for you and will encourage you to keep going. If you have any questions, always feel free to reach out to me. I will see you guys back here on Monday at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. Have a fantastic weekend. Thanks for hanging out with me. The Keto Mojo is wonderful and inexpensive. Yeah, for sure. For sure. So thanks for saying that, Renee. And it is super fun to use. Okay, I'll see you guys later.